Welcome to the latest edition of Business Spotlight podcast. I'm joined today by Dylon O'Leary, and he is co-founder of My Healthcare. So, Dylon, good morning. Welcome to the call.
Good morning, Gavin.
Dylon, My Healthcare, it's a fairly young business, isn't it? And I know you have interest in both health and technology. But let's start by asking you what it is the business does and how it came about.
So the business came about through a sort of conference in London that I attended in 2018, where I discovered virtual reality in healthcare. It was a virtual reality conference.
Yep.
And I attended this conference. I was amazed by some of the technologies that I saw in London and in the UK. And then I discovered that this technology could save lives.
Right.
And so the fusion of technology and healthcare began at that conference in the UK. It was a meeting of amazing minds and values, and that's how the business began.
Have you always had an interest in technology?
Yes, I've always had an interest in technology. When I was younger, I created things, developed things, and I did an economics degree, but I always had that fascination by technology within economics, fintech, and then transferred that across to healthcare.
So tell us where the healthcare interest comes from. Tell us a bit about that.
So my mum is a GP trainer and GP for many years. So that means she trains GPs and she helps people all the time. So that's how I developed this amazing drive to help people.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and we understand how the two ideas have come together. What's the business about then? Obviously, there is some VR aspects to it. So tell us a little bit more about the business.
So we developed 360-degree videos for healthcare professionals to develop their training, and education. So we are currently undergoing trials up north in some healthcare organizations that we are trialing at the moment, and that could be very interesting for future endeavors.
Okay, and where do you hope to take the business? Because obviously it's in its early days. What's your sort of vision for the business going forwards?
We want to develop the healthcare sector into a more technologically proficient sector, and we want to develop an amazing array of products within the virtual reality space that can then transform healthcare into a more proficient and organized sector. And we have developed some amazing new technologies that are coming out very soon.
Okay, so what's interesting about your answer there, Dylon, is that you've actually answered your question with your vision. Quite often when I ask that sort of question, what I get back in return is the details of what somebody's actually doing, but you've painted the picture, you painted the vision. So let me ask you, in terms of the productization of what you do, what do you see as being the lead product, and why have you selected on that?
So our lead product at the moment is the diabetes foot assessment VR video. And this is designed to catch early warning signs of a whole array of issues associated with diabetes. And this saves lives.
Yeah.
If implemented correctly, it will save lives, and it will help people to catch early warning signs of things that could lead to foot amputations.
Right.
So that's some amazing stuff.
And who would be using the product? Is it doctors, or do they not need that level or degree of training? Could it be other health professionals?
It's people coming back into training. So people coming back from retirement, people coming at universities as well.
Yeah.
So trainee doctors, essentially, trainee GPs are it's quite a big target market, because there's quite a lot of new doctors coming in from training and quite a lot of people coming back from retirement.
Yeah. So you've got universities, you've got GP practices, no doubt, you've got the hospitals. Are you looking to develop this as initially as a UK or as a European or as a global product? What are the kind of stages that you've got mapped out going forwards?
So initially, the UK market is currently our biggest market, and we want to foster that as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we're working with certain trusts to be able to do that. And we really want to expand that globally.
Yeah.
Because in certain countries, they have high levels of diabetes.
Right. Okay. So looking at this through the lens of, as you would expect me as a business coach to do, of building a business, what has really fascinated me about your responses so far is that, as I've already mentioned, you've started with the vision and the mission. And most of the time people start with the business that they're building and the systems and all those sort of things. And I encourage them to focus on the vision and the mission. So I'm almost doing this the other way around with you. But I'd like to ask you, in terms of building your team in place going forwards, because if you're going to be expanding this as a product initially in the UK and then further afield, you're going to need a team that's going to grow around you. You're going to need systems. You're going to need to be thinking about your marketing, your sales process, your time management, all those sort of things. Where do you feel that you will be turning your attention to first in terms of turning this into an efficient business that's going to deliver on your vision?
So our team is a tight-knit team. We will expand with funding that we receive from different organizations such as Innovate UK.
Yeah.
And we will expand it by looking at talent from around the UK that is relevant to healthcare, but also has a technological background at the same time.
Yeah.
So we want people who are extremely driven and motivated to be able to expand healthcare and make healthcare better.
Yeah.
I don't want people who are just focused on getting money, or I want people who are driven by money, but I want them to have a vision, the same vision that I share and the same vision that my mum shares of the NHS and private healthcare sectors to improve on a vast scale. Yeah. And we have some other technologies that can do that as well that we're working on.
So you're looking for people who are aligned to your vision. What's your main strength, Dylon? Are you an innovator? Are you a designer? Where do you feel that your strengths are in the business?
I think all of the above. And I think I am noticed as a jack of all trades, but I would say my main strength is innovation. If I was to list one, it would be innovation, because I've developed some amazing products recently that are in product development stage. Yeah. So I've got, well, I can't release it because of IP, but it's going to really change the mental health sector significantly.
Mm. This is a very key driver for you, isn't it? Other people's well-being.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to help people and to make people's lives better, and to drive change and innovation within that is something very special.
I think that's really important. And on the theme of well-being, you know, one of the things I'm often coaching my clients on is how they look after themselves. I don't like the term work-life balance. I think that's some misnomer. But in terms of looking after one's own well-being, particularly when you're involved really, you know, in an exciting, time-consuming, emotion-consuming kind of project like you are at the moment, how do you look after your own well-being as a business owner? What would you advise other people to be doing, and who might be at a similar stage to you in developing a new business?
I think you got to love what you're doing. That's the prerequisite for success. But also at the same time, if you get too absorbed in that process of loving what you're doing, you can then forget that your body actually needs some movement and some gym, some walking, some sunshine, whatever it is. Yeah. I think different people have different sort of needs and wants. So let's say I enjoy playing the piano, but someone may enjoy playing guitar or whatever it is. Utilize your hobbies and go to the gym and walk, but whatever makes you happy, I would advise you to do that alongside the business as much as you can.
Be attentive to what your needs and wants are, because it's the old cliche, isn't it, about putting your own oxygen mask on first. if we want to be successful in our endeavors, we need to look after ourselves. And clearly this is a business that you've got a vision for, you've got passion for, you've got drive for, and it's going to be a more successful business for one looking after oneself. And that's true for anybody who's setting up a business that they're passionate about. I think it's a really important lesson there. Dylon, I've really enjoyed the fact that you've very, very clearly explained how your passion for both technology and people's well-being has come together as a fusion to build an exciting, innovative new business, and how important it is for you to bring other people on at the time when the time is right, who are of a similar mindset. It's been fascinating listening to your shares, and thank you very much for joining us this morning on this podcast.
Thank you, Gavin. I'm very happy to be part of it.
Thank you.